Okay, after all was said and done, it's a good thing that we had some good, great, and marvelous performances, because the next one, the next one finds us with RANDI and KUPONO as a fourth couple, and it was a Paso Doble, once again choreographed by Tony and Melanie. And the music, which would be hard to forget on any night, is an arrangement of Dies Irae by Carl Jenkins. Now, if you're not familiar with what the Dies Irae is, go look it up on either YouTube or especially on Wikipedia, because it's based on a 13th century Latin hymn that was incorporated much, much later on into a Catholic Requiem Mass, and it's got some pretty apocalyptic connections there. And if it sounds really familiar as well as creepy and terrifying, it's supposed to. And the backstory will tell you more about that, but it's also been the base of a lot of compositions that sound very similar, because themes to movies like Conan the Barbarian, Excalibur, and of course it was the basis for Jerry Goldsmith's creation of the only score he ever won an Oscar for, The Omen, which is why it sounds like the mouth of hell is going to open up and swallow the studio at any minute, which I kind of think that RANDI and KUPONO were probably feeling like they wished it would at this point, because as far as a Paso Doble goes, it was more like a pass out Doble instead of a Paso Doble. It was pretty bad. So just based on his solo and his performance in this particular piece, I think it's safe to say KUPONO is really in trouble tonight. Okay, so putting that out of our minds for a minute, the seventh solo was A Day, and how great it was to have something not so good followed by something that was just awesome. I am still marveling after 6 weeks that a guy built like a football player moves like a ballet dancer, because A Day is just, he is just hitting it on all cylinders pretty much. It didn't seem like he was just pulling all the tricks out of his hat because he was desperate. He was doing this because that is his natural style. And next to Evan, wow, he is just incredible. Of course, 5 stars by that name as well for one of the best solos of the night. A Day Staying. Oh, and by the way, if I didn't mention this, the solo was performed to Unchained Melody by the Righteous Brothers. When you can perform to anything, especially a song like that, wow. Following him were the 8th and 9th solos from Janine and Jason. Janine was number 8. Once again, she pulls out a song that's rapidly gaining a lot of fans among the So You Think You Can Dance crowd. Violento by Bailongo. Every frickin' body's looking for this song, and nobody can find it because it's not on YouTube. Haven't been able to find it on cduniverse.com or iTunes. But if you go to iLike, that's ILIKE.com, the entire clip is posted there. Unfortunately, you can't download it as far as I know, and you can't buy it off of iLike.com. So if the producers are listening to this, or if the creators of that song are listening to this, you would probably do well to try to release it as a single like real soon, because it's got a following. And Janine's solo was appropriately spicy to this track, so I think she's good to go as far as staying in the competition goes too. 9th solo was from Jason, to Train Fare Home by Muddy Waters. Great classic blues song, Gut Bucket Blues. And I understand the choreography should have been appropriately laid back to match that, you know, just kind of down home and taking it easy. But I just don't know that this is the right time in the competition to take it easy. Although if you do, nothing lost, because this is the top 10. Everybody who's performing now is guaranteed to go on tour. Not that you should phone it in now though, but Jason needs to probably keep it in mind that if KUPONO goes this week, he's probably going next week. So yeah, you might want to step up those solos a lot next week, bud. Okay, so following those solos came Melissa and Brandon doing a TYCE DIORIO Broadway number to Aquarius, which is a song I can relate to, from the musical Hair, the new Broadway cast soundtrack album. I'm with Nigel. I don't know how old TYCE is, but how he remembers his choreography is anybody's guess. But yeah, that brought back a lot of memories of peace, love, hair grease, and whatever else you think of. Not to mention other aromatic herbs, shall we say, that you don't find in your mother's spice rack. But it was a good performance, and I don't think that either Melissa or Brandon are in any trouble going home either. So following them was the final solo by Janette, and she performed to This Is Miami by Sander Kleinenberg. If you've heard the song, it's a hot, hot, hot dance club track that's been floating around for quite a while. With Janette being the salsa queen of the show that she is, she showed off her moves the way she always does. And I don't think that she's in any trouble going home either. So we'll see how the voting swings her way or not. Those hips are definitely swinging. And to close out the show, the top 5 guys are choreographed by a newcomer, Jeffrey Page, who specializes in, ready for this, African dance. And the track they used was Ballant Funk by Ayanda Clark and Sean Kelly. I was shocked because when I saw the practice footage, I thought, Evan's gonna get killed. I mean, Ade, okay, Brandon, they're not gonna look anything but awesome doing this. KUPONO and Jason, not a problem. Evan, we're talking Gene Kelly. Gene Kelly didn't even do hula dancing, okay? Let alone traditional African dance. But Evan held his own, did a great job. The group looked just as good doing their number as the girls did doing the Bollywood number, and nobody tried to one-up anybody else, which I think is really great for this particular group. So there's one guy and one girl possibly going home since now we're down to singles. I'm going to project that it's going to be KUPONO for sure. And I'm not really 100% sure about the girl. I'm kind of leaning towards Melissa because she is limited with her ballet training, but I'm more apt to think that's going to be KUPONO and RANDI because RANDI's solo, in the gist of things, was okay, but not great. So that's going to be my 2 cents worth in terms of the people going home, KUPONO and RANDI. And I want to make an early prediction here. As far as the final 3 people that will be left standing, guys and girls, for the guys, it's going to come down, in my opinion, to Ade, Brandon, and Evan. For the girls, I think it's going to come down to Kayla, Janine, and Janette as far as duking it out to see who's going to be named America's favorite dancer. Based on popularity, I'm still putting my money on Evan Kasperzak. I think he's going to be our next So You Think You Can Dance winner for season 5. Although technically, as far as technique and power and everything else goes, Ade could be time enough for him. Brandon, I still think he's in the running, but I think he's lost a little bit of his luster and shine now because of how well Ade is doing and how Evan is holding his own on everything, including this African dance. So that's going to be my early predictions for that. So this being Thursday night, we're going to see tonight at 9/8 Central Time exactly what happens with the voting. So until next week, everybody have a good weekend. Take care, and I'll talk to you soon.